what are those small learnings or lessons that we should learn, and how we can use the energy of Makar Sankranti to create a lot of prosperity into our life. Now, so just to give a little brief idea now, since I'm sure most of you must be already aware, although, but let's try and first understand what is Makar Sankranti. Now, Sankranti in Sanskrit, it means transmigration of the sun from one Rashi, that is the constellation of the zodiac in Indian astronomy, to the next one. Hence, there are basically 12 Sankrantis every year. But out of which this Makar Sankranti, which is in the Capricorn, when it enters the Capricorn, is the one that is widely celebrated. And I'm sure all of you are already aware, in every part of the state, there is a transition that happens, which is basically where the longer days are going to be welcome. The winter days are going to get over. And that is the reason sun, this Lord Surya is one of the most important god who is prayed during this particular time, right? And we celebrate harvest period. Basically, it's so much of abundance, harvest, welcoming the next season and transition, and you celebrate it so beautifully with all that. Have you seen in Lori also, I'm sure you must have seen that, people burn all that fire and all, and then they go round and round, they celebrate. Isn't it correct? Don't you celebrate it that way? Yes. So now let us try and understand the importance of celebrating. And if this was not an important day, please hear me. If this was not an important day, I am sure, although you're all celebrating on the same day, but it's just that in your term, you've given it a different name. Whether someone calls it Lori or someone calls it Makar Sankranti, someone calls it Pongal, but at the same time, you are all celebrating the same thing, the transition phase, where your whole importance is to give, to Lord Surya. You're praying to Lord Surya. How do you celebrate? How many of you can share that? How do you celebrate Makar Sankranti? What do you usually do? What are the things that are very common during the Makar Sankranti period? You must have seen the flyer that I had floated. What was the prominent thing that you could see in the flyer? Kite. Yeah, correct. We have bonfire, we have kites. You see all that, those sweets which are specifically made during this Makar Sankranti. This is what til ke laddu and what that mudi ka laddu and whatnot. All of these kind of items you will usually find it during this particular. Yes, chikki. These are all the sweet pongal. All of these are, if you notice, they are mostly made of they're sweets. Basically, it's the sweets. You're practically trying to sweeten yourself to welcome the new phase. Now, imagine 2-3 things. Apart from this, now see, so everybody seems to be too fond of food, because I can see so many food items list out here. This is so amazing. We have what? Til paradi, til ke laddu. Okay, yes, I'm aware of that. We keep vegetables in front of sun. Okay, that's interesting, Deepa. I have not heard about this concept of keeping vegetables under the sun, but that's a nice thing. In Gujarati, it is undiyu. Okay, wow. Fini, yes, I'm aware of fini. Jaggery, correct. So we all see that this one thing which is common in all of the castes is that there is sweet thing which is being offered. Yes, ghevar. And yes, Jyoti, thank you so much for bringing us to this point, because this is the next that I was coming up to, was we donate things. How many of you are aware that we donate things during Makar Sankranti? Don't we? Yes. How many of you are aware there is a particular number? How many of those items are being donated? 14. Yes, Neera, thank you so much. Yes, everybody is aware that we donate 14 items. Can anybody give me an idea why do we donate 14 items? Why not 10? Why not 11? Why not 19? Why not 9, 7? Why 14? There must be some resemblance, some reason why we donate only 14 items. I'll share my understanding on this, but I would like to hear all of your understanding as to why are we donating exactly 14 items during this Makar Sankranti. Since the childhood, I have been seeing my mom used to donate every year 14 items, whether it used to be because of during this time it is usually very cold. So practically we donate maybe blankets and stuff like that. But why 14? Please, someone just maybe share. Now here, Neera, I don't know if people are also giving it to relatives, but I have since childhood seen we giving out these stuff, and in fact most of the people giving out to the poor people or needy people. Rupal, that's a nice evaluation also, that because it is celebrated on the 14th day of January, so it is 14 things that we distribute. Now, here is my understanding, which I would love to share with all of you. Now hear this out, and you can use your own evaluation as well. So my understanding why we give 14 items is, number one, the very first concept as to why is it that we donate. Why do we even donate on that Makar Sankranti? Let's come to the 14 items next. Let's first try and understand why do we need to donate during the Makar Sankranti. Now, here is my understanding about why we donate first of all. Because generating good karma, everything is good enough, but why during the Makar Sankranti? There are other occasions also throughout the year that we celebrate where we can donate, but there is this Makar Sankranti supposed to be one of the most important time where we all across know that we should ideally do a lot of donations. Now, first thing that I understand is that you start a new year. If you notice, you start a new year and the good days start from 14th, right? From Makar Sankranti onwards, the good days start. The moment the good day starts, exactly on that day, it is we think it as a tradition, but there is always a reason behind that tradition. So we are inculcate, people are the tradition is helping us inculcate the habit of donating. That this is supposed to be made very clear to the mind of every person that year starts, the day the good days start, the very first thing you ask to do is to donate. You pray to Lord Sun, Lord Surya. What is the symbolism of Lord Surya? Surya is light. Light is what? Intelligence. Intelligence is what? Your thought process as to how you think. For you to ensure there is a lot of sunlight, there is a lightness into your there is an enlightenment that happens into your entire life. You get the right, clear direction throughout the year. Your very first thing that guides you is to start donating, because when you donate, when you give, you entitle yourself to receive. So your year starts with giving. Now, why is it that we pray to Lord Surya? Is a lot of other reasons also. Talking about, now I come back to the mental, emotional and physical level. On the mental level, it is trying to teach us to use your intelligent evaluation, that you have to ensure that to make this entire year beautiful, start your year with donating people, generating that kind of good karma so that your entire year goes wonderfully. Number one. When it comes to physical level, sun carries the energy where you absorb a lot of vitamin D's, right? You absorb a lot of vitamin D, and doctors always recommend people that when you are having less amount of vitamin D, he will always recommend, especially the ladies, you will notice that you tend to lose out on your vitamin D much more faster than the men. That's the reason why knee problem starts majorly in most of the women. If there are doctors in this group, you can validate this, that there are ladies who get mostly affected, and that's the reason why they always ask you to expose yourself to sun. So have you not seen these elderly people? They always make it a point in the afternoon or in the morning. They sit in the sunlight, they read their newspapers, they will do whatever activity, but they sit under the sun. Why do they need this sun? Because sun is one thing that is going to help you absorb a lot of vitamin D, number one. It's going to help you overcome a lot of skin related diseases. That's the reason I'm talking about the science behind everything. We really need to understand that God knows what is that will lack inside us. So beforehand, He's making us follow that. And that's the reason welcoming the sun, offering water to the sun, or praying to sun is all the fact that you get exposed to sun. Flying kites. Have you seen flying kite? Do you think like a time pass we are flying kites? No. God wants us, or probably this tradition wants us to stay under the sunlight so that we can absorb that kind of vitamin D into our system. So we are exposed to that sunlight during the time when we fly those kites. So all the tradition, if you go down deeper into understanding every tradition, it will make sense to us. How many children nowadays actually fly kites? I only remember my childhood when we all used to be, run after this, we want that kites and all that. We used to run around in the terrace to fly those kites. But now when I look around, not even a single child, there are not even stalls or shops around where I could find the kites. I had to send someone to that, to the main market, that the wholesale market, where he can just search for some kites and get some, because I really wanted everybody in my house this 14th, they should all play kites. So I made it. I made a program like this, so all the relatives together, we can fly kites on that day. It is just a simple tradition I wanted to follow. So I made it a part of a fun activity, so that everyone, it's a fun also, it's a kind of a picnic also, and they can fly kites also. And the younger generation, they learn what is kite flying. They don't even know what is kite flying, and they don't know how to do it also. I think 99 100%, I asked everybody, is there anyone who knows how to fly kite, so that they can teach the others? There was no one. One of the staff in my office, he said, finally, ma'am, I know how to fly kite. So I had to ask him that, on 14th, please come to my house and teach everybody how to fly kites. So the interesting thing is that we need to understand कि ये सारे जो tradition हमारी life में है ना, हम लोग इसको भूलते चले जा रहे हैं. Why? Because we feel कि अरे क्या है इसमें, ये सब बेकार है. And we are going to what? What are we going to? Mobile phones. Are we not getting to mobile phones? PS4, mobile phone, iPad, laptops, correct? TV, televisions, Netflix. Now, here is where we have to be very smart people and understand that if it is a holiday on 14th, and utilize that day, instead of having the children again getting into that laptops and all of that, get them out of their place. Get them out of that comfort zone. Arrange kites, arrange maybe good lunch or something, but arrange like a picnic, it should be fun activity, have music playing, whatsoever you can do to ensure that everybody comes out of their room and are there together in the terrace, and you can have a wonderful time together as a family. There's a get together, there's so much of joy, happiness, you're celebrating. Ideally, Makar Sankranti is a celebration time. And if we are not celebrating, then what's the point of having Makar Sankranti? Now, coming to the point as to why we were donating. I just clearly mentioned that yes, it is the reason why God wants us to be, having that inculcation of the habit of wanting to donate and start your new year. Second thing, this is my understanding again as to why 14 items. Now, how many people actually do donations every month? How many people? Because Bhagavad Gita says we should donate, right? 10% of the net income we must donate every month, correct? It's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can just go and read the Bhagavad Gita. They will know that it is mentioned. Even the Grandmaster in Pranic Healing, he also says that we must donate 10% of our net income. Now, if such big gurus or even the Granth, even these holy books are saying the same thing, I'm sure there's some reason why they are all saying the same thing. But what happens is that not everybody is following it, correct? Not necessary that everyone is following it. So is why this habit of donating 14 items. Why 14 items? 12 is followers, 12 months of your donation, and that 2 extra is your 20%. that 20 or 30% whatever you call it, the interest, एक इंटरेस्ट होता है ना, बैंक का भी जैसे इंटरेस्ट होता है, वो जो 2 आइटम और एक्स्ट्रा है, 12 के ऊपर जो 2 आइटम एक्स्ट्रा है, वो आपका इंटरेस्ट है, क्योंकि आपने पूरे साल में नहीं दिया, तो वो 2 एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट आपको दे दिया है अपने इंटरेस्ट के साथ में. Now 14 item interest के साथ में you've given. Now here is my further understanding. If this is so, I have a humble request to each one that when you are thinking to donate some items, maybe to decide 14 items है देना है, try not to look for कि हाँ ठीक है 100-200 में जो आएगा. Most people think like that because I have heard that in most of the people कि जो सस्ते में आ जाता है वो दे दो and that's it. वो वैसे भी गरीबों को यूज करना है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. Lot of these lines I have heard. I don't know how many of you must have heard these lines. It pinches me that when it comes to their need, why do we become like this? How much of difference will it make even if we add another 50 or 100 into that and give something which genuinely is going to be helpful for that person, and he's really going to enjoy that item which you have given and is going to use throughout the year. You will feel so happy, trust me, when you will see those people using it with so much of happiness and joy. Ki, wow, see, you've given this, and it maybe for you it's probably not even counted, but for them it might be a luxury. And so number 2, which I come, the second point that I come from this is that please try to donate the needy, because somebody just shared in the group that you donated to your relatives. I'm sorry to say, but relatives को donation की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't, your relatives, unless they are really needy, so much so in need that कि वो 12 चीज 14 चीज जो आप दे रहे हो, उन चीज की उनको रियली रिक्वायरमेंट अगर नहीं है, तो मेरी आपसे हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट है कि जो नीडी है, स्पेशली कोविड के टाइम पे, when you have no idea what people are going through, there are some people जिनके घर छिन गए हैं, वो गाड़ी में या सड़कों पे रह रहे हैं. There are people who are staying on, I mean, they are homeless. They don't have anything. This is a time for 1 year they have not had any earning. So this time specifically when you are donating, please think about the aspect that people do not have money to even eat right now. So when you are deciding on gifting out this 14th, that is the reason today I took this session not on 14th, because 14th would have been too late. Many of you may be still thinking to buy, or maybe wanting to buy, or must have already bought and can add something else on it. But try and see that the 14 items that you are planning to buy is something thoughtful and intelligent, thinking about the kind of need they must be having right now. Right? If it feels good to you, if it resonates with you, and if you feel ki yes, this makes sense to you, then I highly recommend, please try and think about items which will probably be very helpful for those needy people who from the last 1 year may not have eaten properly, may not have slept properly, may not have had that kind of enough money to even buy food for themselves. They might have a lot of other requirements. So please try and see that if you can think about stuff like that. जिनको आपको देना है, पहले तो just check out. Let's say, for example, if in your area you know that which are the people you have to donate. So if you already know, you would know their needs also. Let's say, for example, they are probably sleeping on the road. That means it's such a cold time and they are sleeping on the road. You can probably give them what? Maybe blanket or something which is going to be maybe, like flask. Hot water flask, for example. It's going to keep the water, hot for a longer period of time. Like, let's say, for example, just today, it so happened, I'll share this incident. Like, I was just discussing with my manager, what are the 14 items that we have to gift out. So I was just checking out the items, out of which my the household girl, she just came in and she was just peeping at the stuff that I was checking. And she was saying, ma'am, are you planning to order that electric water heater also? I said, yeah, why? We said, can you get me also one? Because my 2 small children, they don't get hot water. And it will be very helpful for me that if you can give me something like that, then I could feed my small children with hot water. My God, it was so pinching to me. I said, this is something which is not even of a meaning for us, and these people, they are looking forward for something like that. And she said, ma'am, I will pay you for it, please get me. I said, you don't have to pay, it's okay, I will anyways get you. I mean, but that made me feel कि इन लोगों की कितनी requirements है जो हमें पता भी नहीं होगा. So one thing which you can do is ki ask these people what are the things that they really need right now, and if you can fulfill their desire and get that, it's just wonderful. It's just a small thought with which I really felt like sharing with all of you. Is that is why yesterday I planned this session. Honestly, I think it was very late at night by the time I planned this session, and it really touched me deep. And I feel humanity is all about this. Humanity is all about understanding other people, their situation, how we can help each other, and that's what is humanity. Because at the end of the day, we all know that we are not going to take any of these items along with us. Not even my physical body is going to go. But the thing is that how we made these people feel, how we made them, actually how you made them feel is what is important. How you made other people feel is what is important. See, during your entire lifespan, how best what you can do with whatever God has provided you with, try and do whatever best you can to other people. Include, first start with your family, because your family are the closest people. अगर हमने उनके लिए नहीं किया और दुनिया के लिए करने निकल पड़े हैं, I don't know how much sense that makes. Start, बोलते हैं ना, charity begins from home. पहले तो घर में देखें कि घर के लोगों की requirement पूरी हम कर पा रहे हैं. Are we able to try and do justice to our own family members, and then we move ahead and do a lot of good things to other people. Now, other thing that I would bring to light over here is try and see that whatever you are doing, all of this good work of donations, keep it to yourself. Try not to publicize in the Facebook and whatever it is. When you are doing something good to other people, try to keep it to yourself only. Even when you're, पुराने ज़माने में कहावत सुनी है मैंने, आपका दायां हाथ क्या कर रहा है आपके बाएं हाथ को नहीं पता होना चाहिए. Similarly, whatever donations you are doing, make sure you're doing it very quietly. You don't need to really go and talk to people about it. You know what, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know what happens? Because the good karma that you generated through that donation that you've done, you've already utilized it through talking about yourself. That means you're praising yourself and you're telling people that, look, I'm such a good person, I'm doing all of these good things. Now, what is happening is, when you are going and talking to so many people and telling each one, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you have already utilized that karma in terms of getting name and fame. So have you seen in most of these temples and places, you will see the name of that person who has donated for so and so money or so and so stuff or whatsoever. They have because they want name and fame. That's the reason they are highlighting their name into those places, to ensure that each and every person who is coming over there should know that I am the one who has done this good work. Because they want that name and fame is why they are utilizing. So that karma is already gone in their name and fame. Do not expect that karma to be staying in your bank account where you can utilize it further for any other thing that you want. Okay, so these are the few things that I felt I should share with all of you, and with that hope and feeling of ensuring that we enjoy this Makar Sankranti in the most beautiful manner. Try and arrange this get together of celebration. Enjoy yourself. Try and wake up early in the morning for a change, and yes, one very important thing is the Gayatri Mantra. Because when you're talking about Lord Surya, we should ensure that even in your house, whoever are children, try and see if you can teach them Gayatri Mantra. Very important thing, because Gayatri Mantra is something which is really very important, and the children should anyways be knowing Gayatri Mantra. The importance of Gayatri Mantra, we all are already aware. And on the day of Makar Sankranti, when you chant the mantra Gayatri, the Gayatri Mantra, it's extremely powerful, because obviously talking about sun, Surya, Lord Surya, and then we have Gayatri Mantra, which is like, trying to vibrate at the same level which the energy of that day is. So I am just trying my level best that on the day, whatever energy is flowing, you grab the opportunity of vibrating at the similar level through the requirement which is needed to be in that level. So when you are chanting the Gayatri Mantra, you are already creating that vibration to match up with the flow of that day and absorb that energy into your system, into your house, with your children, your entire family. Okay, so today we will do a few Gayatri Mantra and then we will move into the meditation. And today we are doing Grandmaster's healing meditation. So it's going to be a great opportunity we all can together grab. And yes, additional thing is that all the healers are joining us for the healing, and they will be doing intense healing for each one of us in the group today. All 100 of us, we will be receiving a lot of healing as well. So be very receptive, be grateful to God and Guru for the intense healing that is happening. And I really hope and wish that whatever is my personal learning and sharing was able to have any enlightenment upon any one of you. It will be great. And with this, I'm moving on to the meditation. Please all be receptive.